Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today I want to talk about how this YouTube event, or rather this one specific person of this event, was really making it a struggle to get interpreters and captions for 2 years in a row. And this all comes at a time where I'm selling the new limited edition Fall Winter 2019 My Accessibility My Choice shirts, which are on sale through November 30th. So if you would like to get one of those, now is the time. I also have the old design on my Teespring, so if you want that one instead, I'll have that link as well. If you are interested in learning more about deafness, accessibility, etc., please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any uploads. Also consider being a pledge on Patreon for more exclusive content and to just help me make more of these videos and other projects that I do. It's almost time to start writing letters to all the featured creators of Playlist and VidCon for getting them to caption their videos. And I handwrite those suckers. So 2 years in a row, I was invited to this YouTube-esque event. It's located in Toronto and is a bit of like a YouTube and film festival sort of thing in one. In case you're new here, hello, I am deaf. Nice to meet you. And I require interpreters and captions when I'm at conferences and events. Although for year one, I only really requested captions because my ASL skills really weren't there at all. So I just require captions, especially because it was like a film festival thing where we were just gonna be watching other people premiere their YouTube videos, and like if it was a panel, it would have been just easier to have captions. So I requested those, and the thing about requesting captions and interpreters is that, well, at least for interpreters, you have to do those a month in advance, at least, I believe. Captions, I'm not really sure, but I want to say really is probably the same time frame. I think I got my invite in the summer, and then the event was in the fall, so there were a few months to, get that ball rolling. I left emails, I left Facebook messages, because this man loved to do business on Facebook Messenger, which I don't understand why, really. And for so long, things would not get answered. My emails would not answer, but my Facebook messages were read, but not responded to. And it was just really frustrating because when you hire disabled people, especially deaf people, and they require something like interpreters and captions, I feel like that has to become one of your priorities. Because if you wait too long, there's a high chance that you're not going to get that stuff. And if you're inviting someone who obviously requires those accommodations, you really want them at your event, it's just mind-boggling to me that you don't really want to put in the effort to do all that. So year one, I just requested captions, but year two, I requested captions and interpreters because red carpet and meet and greets were involved. I didn't do a meet and greet event on the first year because we didn't have interpreters, and captions probably would have been weird, especially if you're walking around. So for year two, I requested captions and interpreters. Captions for the actual film screenings, and then interpreters for the red carpet, which I didn't get any for the red carpet, for the meet and greet, especially, and green room, face-to-face conversations with panels and things like that. Captions are so much better for me, but for talking with people to their faces, interpreters go way smoother. In both of these years, I was hoping that after year one, we wouldn't have a problem with year two, but the thing is, I don't know why I still had a problem. So 1 month would go by, 2 months would go by, and soon enough, we had about a month left before the event, and I was still not getting any sort of response whatsoever. And on year one, my ex-friend let me know of an extension that you could download so that when somebody reads your email, you'll know, because it'll have like a little check mark. And the fact that messages just weren't getting answered was so frustrating because I was getting scared that we weren't going to have interpreters. I was thinking, are you actually not putting in any sort of effort to try to make sure that I am welcome at your event and that I can, participate because it would just be so awkward trying to talk to people on this panel and things like that, and I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what you're saying. So when we had a month left, I was finally, I got a little aggressive. I got almost a little threatening, and I was saying something along the lines of, I know you're reading my emails. I have an extension that lets me know. You need to tell me if you are putting in any effort whatsoever on interpreters, because I don't have any. And if, or so far, I don't have any, I don't know if I have any, and if I show up and find out that there's no accessibility and you didn't put in the effort, because it's one thing if you get the interpreters or the captioners and they cancel, which has happened actually year 2, and also when I was at Playlist last year, or this year, but when you actually don't put in the effort, you're telling me that you don't actually care about me, even though you wanted me to come, and you know that I'm not equal to my abled counterparts, my hearing counterparts even. I hate having to play the role of angry deaf activist, but sometimes you gotta get a little bit angry, and I don't know why it is. Why is it that you have to get a little bit angry before somebody finally listens to you? But that's what had to happen, and lo and behold, he listened. And it's been so long since I've seen the messages. This was 2015 or 2016. But if I can recall anything, it was just, you know, the general, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, like we've had all these other priorities taking place and things like that. And I've been rushing and getting all these messages and things like that. And I was just like, you need a better organization team. Let's be real here. But like, and I understand that there were other priorities as well, but there needed to be someone on this because you wanted me to be here, and you kind of knew this ahead of time. It wasn't like I waited until like 1 month till and was like, oh, by the way, I need interpreters and captions. It's totally last minute, but no, I let you know from the get-go. But thankfully, I did get my captions on year 1, and on year 2, I had captions, but I didn't have interpreters, and that actually was not the fault of the event. One of the guys was working really, really hard with accessibility. This was a different guy from the guy who owned or used to own this event, and he was working so hard, and when I found out that the interpreters were being canceled, I was so sad. But he was working really, really hard to try to find last-minute volunteers and you know whatnot, and I appreciated that effort. That man, that second man involved, he worked so hard, and I really appreciate him. Other man, however, and thing is, this isn't really the first time that I've kind of had a struggle with events. With disability-centric events, it's a lot easier to get accommodations because it's a disability conference, convention, event, whatever, so they kind of have already had that idea. But when it's more like if you're the only disabled person there, if you're the only deaf person there, they just don't really think about it. Which on one hand is fine in the sense of like, oh wait, oh wow, this is new and I didn't even think about this. And then, you know, you educate them, and then what usually ends up happening is happened at VidCon. You start getting more ASL interpreters and captions and more of the event itself, so that's really awesome. But I have come across some people that kind of try to fight me on it, and they're like, are you really sure that you need interpreters? Are you really sure that you need captions? Do you really need one or the other or both? Are you sure we can't just give you like this little thing instead, or we can get you some notes instead, and I'm just like, I'll just not come. How about that? Because nobody should be disrespected like that when you're invited to something, but they're just like, we want you here, but we don't respect you enough to make sure that you can actually feel equal and actually participate in this thing, because what's the point of that? But at the end of the day, the interpreters and or captions would be provided. I just wish it wasn't such a struggle to make that happen. But unfortunately, even in 2019, it still can be, and that really sucks. And this doesn't just happen with deaf people. I have seen the horror stories from other disabled people, my blind friends, my wheelchair using friends, even at YouTube events where we needed somebody to bring a ramp in and there was no ramp, and instead they were just like, well, we can just pick you up and carry you upstairs, which is just, no, that's not the way to go about things. And this guy was a very well-known guy, so he's like way up, you know, on the pyramid here, and we're all just like, oh son, no. But yeah, To you watching this, if you've had any experiences with this, let me know down below. This is a huge thing with even just attendees coming to conferences as regular attendees and not like feature creators. That is a whole struggle in itself as well. But let me know if you've had any of these issues down in the comments below. If you would like to help translate this video, I would very much appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Link down below. Please give this video a thumbs up, give it a share. It's extremely important, and the more you share, the more knowledge that gets spread. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I will see you later.